Medvedev's keynote speech here at the Security Forum in Yaroslavl. Now, joining me for more analysis is Craig Calhoun, a social sciences professor at New York University. Thank you for joining us here on RT. I'd like to begin by asking you your impressions. What's happened here today?
Well, I think it's been exciting. We had, of course, President Medvedev, who gave an outstanding speech that was very well received, but also Prime Minister Zapatero, Prime Minister Fillon, a number of other world leaders. And I think the idea that they were meeting together with a variety of leading intellectuals, and the very critical speech of Emanuel Wallerstein, which also made a strong impact on the audience, is a sign that there are new ideas and that the leaders of the world are looking for new ways to achieve international cooperation. So I'm encouraged.
Something that we've gathered just from speaking to people throughout the day is there's this ongoing theme of an idea that power throughout the world and influence needs to be spread out if we're going to avoid issues like the economic crisis. Do you agree with that, and can you add anything to that?
Well, absolutely. I think the Congress is in widespread agreement. Number one, the era of unilateralism and U.S. hegemony is over. Of course, there will be years of transition, but what is emerging is a more multilateral world with several different great powers. Russia is one of these important great powers, and the U.S. is also only one of them, not the leader of the whole group. And then it's also important for there to be inclusion of other countries, smaller and less powerful countries, in a global conversation, not just for issues like the economic crisis, but to meet the environmental challenges, clean water, natural resources, and to deal with issues like migration and information technology. So we really need shared power and cooperation.
Were there any working sessions that you were on that kind of stood out to you? Any repeating themes? I don't know if you were on the working session on the connection between nationalism and xenophobia. I heard that there were quite some debates there.
There were sharp debates there, and there are, of course, great anxieties in the world about the rising power of China, or about Russian nationalism, or about whether the United States is still trying to carry on a kind of military unilateralism. These anxieties have to be confronted. It's necessary for people to talk about them, not just ignore them. At the same time, in the sessions that I thought were most effective, people were trying to overcome some misunderstandings. For example, there is sometimes a concern that Western powers want to replace the United Nations with European integration or NATO organization. I don't think this is true. I think it's essential and widely known to be essential that the United Nations be strengthened, not replaced. At the same time, there is regionalization. And there was better understanding when people said, oh yes, of course, Russia also has regional interests. Different countries have regional interests that they have to pursue as well as global interests, and it's a balance.
Okay, we'll have to leave it there. Thank you for your thoughts. Craig Calhoun of NYU joining us here in Yaroslavl. We'll be joining you throughout the evening as this first-time conference wraps up.